This is Needacoin, and you're listening to REKT.
Hello and welcome to REKT Podcast. I am your fearless host, Chamber. Unfortunately, another day without Bunchu, who is currently on his honeymoon. He should be wrapping it up right now. Or maybe not wrapping it up, who knows? Hey-oh! Maybe get some baby Bunchus popping out in 9 months or so. But yeah, he'll be with us next week, so I've taken this opportunity to bring in some of my favorite altcoin friends. We started earlier this week with Kyle McLean, fellow Canadian. We're going to finish it up with the man, the myth, the legend, fellow Canadian. It's a full Canadian week. Needacoin. Needacoin, how you doing, man?
Right on, man. Doing good, man. How are you?
You know what? It's I feel the altcoin season bubbling in my blood. The markets are looking a little bit positive across the board. ETH is doing some stuff.
The bruising is healing.
Yeah, exactly. Bitcoin's just kind of staying in a little zone here. I took a long position on ETH a couple of days back, and it's looking all right. So we'll see. I think we still got, I don't know. We'll see. I don't know where it's going to end, but I'm hanging on for dear life. So you've been kind of unplugged for the last, 3-4 months?
Yeah, pretty much 4 months here. Basically the majority of the summer, so a little bit over that. Just kind of got away, decided to go on holidays, did a whole bunch of things, I wouldn't normally be able to do. You just get so into this space, right? And sometimes it's nice to just walk away. And I like going camping, going to the woods, just turning the cell phone off for a week, right? So
absolutely. Well, we were talking a little bit before we started recording. Some beautiful pictures that you've tweeted out, some beautiful vistas and views. I'm actually heading up tomorrow. I'm in Ontario, but I'm flying out to Banff tomorrow to spend kind of an extended weekend with my wife. We rented like this 100-year-old cabin in the mountains.
Oh, beautiful.
Yeah, it should be great. So we're looking forward to that. We didn't realize, or my wife didn't realize how much of a temperature difference it was from like even just Calgary to Banff. You know what I mean? It's only about an hour away, but it's like literally straight up in the air. So I think it's like a 15-degree difference.
Yeah.
So I think she had some hot numbers to pack up that I think she had to put away.
Yeah, a little bit colder in the mountains there, eh?
It sure is, man. It sure is. Now, yeah, some of your it looked like you did some cottaging in the Rockies. Is that am I okay to say that?
Yeah, no, I did. Yeah, I was kind of all over the place. We hit up from east to west, man. I went everywhere. So
I was gonna say, didn't you start? I feel like the summer of Needacoin started with the Toronto Raptors playoff games. Does that sound about right?
It did, yeah. I took my brother to the Raptors finals there.
That's amazing.
We were at Game 5, right 1 point game. We were right there. They could have finished it that day.
Oh.
So, it was my brother's birthday. He had never been to a professional sports game. He's played sports all his life. Huge sports enthusiast. We decided, let's go do it. So I bought the tickets, got us tickets, flights. We headed on out. Went and spent a week or so in Toronto and did a couple baseball games and all that. And then, came back, switched people, left the brother at home, grabbed the old lady, and we headed on out. We started our travels. So
that's fantastic. Now, I would be remiss not to bring this up. You and your lovely lady kind of sealed the deal, so to speak. Was it a week ago?
Yeah, under a week ago. Yeah,
under a week ago. I saw a tweet come out and I got very excited. and you had mentioned I think you guys were going on like some like 30K hike or something.
Yeah,
Was it a bike ride or a hike?
28K bike ride, yeah, along the mountains. So,
Beautiful.
yeah, it was a nice trek. There's a lot of people on Twitter who are like, hopefully she doesn't have a Twitter account. I can confirm for the people she does not have a Twitter account.
That's good because I thought that too.
I was not worried about that, but I know a lot of people were like, well, this is going to ruin the surprise. But, yeah, no, she definitely doesn't.
I know you as a pretty smart guy, so I assumed that you had your bases covered there.
I did, but...
So I'm assuming she said yes. I think there was a follow-up tweet where she said yes.
She did say yes.
Nice.
We looked at this beautiful lookout. It's there's this bench. It said "Take a look and dream," and we stopped at this beautiful lookout. And while she was watching, looking at the view, I kind of snuck around, went behind, dropped down on one knee, and I just kind of sat there for a minute waiting for her to turn around because she was really just looking at the view.
Yeah, of course.
I'm a pretty calm person overall. I don't have too many levels of excitement. So, but I started getting a little nervous. You know, I was a little nervous after about 10 seconds on the ground.
I bet.
Yeah.
Now, how long were you guys dating before the proposal?
Yeah, we've been dating forever, man. We've been together for a long time.
I was the same way when I proposed to my wife. I think we had been dating maybe 7 years at the time.
Yeah.
We were still pretty young too. I don't know how old you are, but I think we had started dating when I was like 19. And I think it was like 26 or 27 when I proposed.
Nice.
And then we got married. But yeah, now I think we're crossing the border where I think we've been married longer than we're dating. We're around the 16, 17 year marker together. So
nice, man.
Yeah, it's fun. It's fun to have a cohort in crime. You know what I mean? Like,
she rode all these terrible bear markets with me, so I figured if she's willing to do that, she's willing to stay for life. So no,
Absolutely.
She's my better half. She keeps me calm, and she's a good person. So
that's terrific. I love hearing that stuff. I like hearing a good romance story. I'm a sucker for it. Yeah. It's just like we mentioned, Bunchu's getting married. I was
honeymoon. When you watch this Bunchu, congrats, man.
Yeah, no, he's. I'm sure. I don't know if he'll be listening on his honeymoon. Maybe he will. I told him that you were going to be. I told him you were going to be on, so I'm assuming he will tune in. Now, I should say that being said, and I should have brought it up at the very top of the show here, but Mr. Needacoin is the record holder for the most downloaded episode in the REKT catalog. So. You hold the record for biggest listenership. So
I'm humbled.
You are in some pretty high high territory as far as some of the other competitors. But you left them all in the dust. So
what can I say? I love Team Needacoin. We're a great group of people, man. Team Needacoin.
All the way, man. All the way. So. I was very excited when you had mentioned that you had some time. I was like, yep, that sounds like a great idea. We should definitely have you on.
Yeah, we were trying to book this a little earlier, but, with the holidays and everything, things just didn't work out. So I promised you as soon as I came back, I would hit you up.
You're a man of your word.
You're
a man of your word, sir. I appreciate it. So, we had a great summer. What would you say? Obviously, we won't count the proposal because I think that's that's an obvious go-to. You're right. But what was the highlight, not including that, what was the highlight of the summer for you?
I went chasing a lot of waterfalls this year. They say you shouldn't do that.
They say you shouldn't. That's right. That's correct.
But I couldn't resist, so I went chasing a lot of waterfalls, a lot of nice hikes, a lot of views. But we got a cabin for a week on Lake Superior. Mm-hmm. And
I've actually spent a couple of summers there. I'm a big fan of Lake Superior.
Yeah, so that was just beautiful, and there's a whole bunch of places where I was in Thunder Bay. If you ever go to Thunder Bay,
I've been to Thunder Bay. You were doing some trekking.
Yeah, so we were everywhere. I tell you, we went everywhere. So but yeah, there's a lot of beautiful hikes that we went on there. Some amazing looks. So
now,
I would just say. It would be one of the hikes. One
of the hikes. Now, I have to ask you. I am a huge Bigfoot, Sasquatch enthusiast. I'll literally watch any movie that has it in. I'll watch any documentary that's on the subject. I think they're real. In all your hikes and all your times in the woods and all your hikes and bike rides, have you ever come across anything like this? And what
No,
are your overall thoughts?
I cannot say I have. That would make for a way more exciting story.
It sure would.
But no, I just don't know if I believe there's some different looking creatures out there, right? Like a black wolf and stuff like that looks a lot different. So it's a hard sell for me. But
Okay, all right.
I would never take away your spirit, your dreams. So
I appreciate it.
I will not rob you of that.
That is my, when Bitcoin hits 100K or whatever, like the big crypto goals is to retire and to move to the woods and search for the elusive beast.
And you've got a life trek ahead of you.
Exactly. So that's
Yeah,
funny. I figured I'd ask you.
we ran into I woke up one morning and we had the dogs outside. We were camping, and I went out of the trailer and one of the dogs was right outside my trailer, and I thought it was a bear, and so I shit my pants. Oh no, here it comes, eh? So and I look over, it's just a dog, calm down, whatever. And then a couple days goes by, and then we get out of the trailer and there was a bear 10 feet from our camp right there. He was in our camp actually. And then the dogs chased him up a tree, and
Really?
yeah, so we thought it was just one at first, and then she wasn't going away. It was a black bear. So
Yep.
and she wasn't going away, and we kind of thought, she's too comfortable around people kind of thing. And then we realized that, like, we heard something in the trees constantly, and we looked, and what was happening was the dogs were chasing the cubs back up the tree. And so every time the cubs would try and get down, the dogs would run back out there and chase them back up into the tree, and that's why the mama wasn't going anywhere. But the dogs and the mama were about 8-9 feet from each other, just having the stare off of a lifetime, growling and howling. It was pretty insane. That was probably my closest encounter ever, and we just sat there, we ate breakfast, kind of kept looking at it, make sure she didn't start running our way. But yeah, that was pretty wild. That was a pretty wild part of the
I
summer
bet.
too.
I grew up in rural northern Ontario,
Oh, okay.
and we had a garbage, like the garbage strike, where like people wouldn't come and pick up your garbage anymore. So what was happening is we'd have like local dumps that we could kind of go drop it off at. But I lived in the wilderness, and the bears were coming into the towns because, people, maybe wouldn't go as quickly to the dump as they needed to. So, garbage bags would start piling up in their backyard or whatever. So we would get bears just kind of falling, like my backyard just went into the bush. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
it just kind of went in, and we would get bears coming in the backyard, and this one bear kept coming. And my mom, I think it was like, I don't know, like 12, 13 years old. She made like me and my best friend sleep outside and basically like shoot the bear if it came into the into the backyard. So you had like two 12-year-olds with like 12 gauge shotguns in the tent just waiting for a bear.
Not safe at all.
Like this is, thank goodness it was the 90s, but
I was just gonna say this was clearly like the 80s or 90s when this
right,
was
exactly.
going on.
Yeah, I think I want to say like maybe early to mid 90s. The last time you could really do crazy shit as a child. But yeah, I just remember. Yeah, I think we had like a 12 gauge each in the tent with us at like 12, 13 years old, and it was like nobody blinked an eye that this was maybe not the greatest idea.
Just the norm.
Yeah, totally normal. And as I moved away into like the big city where I live now, not really, but bigger city than what I grew up in, it's like, oh yeah, we were crazy growing up. This was not normal, and very unsafe as children. So
How did any of us survive the 90s?
unbelievable. Well,
We drank from the garden hose and
yeah, I know. Speaking of, that's so funny. My daughter started drinking from the garden hose, And I was like, don't do that. She's like, what's wrong with it? I'm like, to be honest with you, I'm not sure what's wrong with it. Go
I
ahead.
was just told you're not supposed to do it.
Yeah, exactly. I'm like,
Yeah.
you know what? Yeah, I'm sure it's fine.
I'm sure we thought there was bugs in there when we were kids too. It just
Especially
wasn't.
like that first one of the year. You know what I mean? When you cranked open the water faucet for like in June or
Yeah,
like
yeah.
Well, we had maybe was it last week or the week before, we had DJ Thistle on, and he's a BC guy, and he tweeted out a picture. He had a freaking Black Widow spider in his garage, and I didn't realize those freaking existed in I think he's in the Okanagan, and he was basically telling the story that it's just like basically a jungle there, and they get different types of these creepy crawlies. So yeah, imagine sucking back a Black Widow in the hose or something like that.
If you ever get a chance to just drive through BC, that is one of the most beautiful drives you'll ever do in the world.
Well, I've been to Victoria a couple times. I've been to
Did
Vancouver.
you drive through or did you fly?
I flew in, yeah.
Yeah.
So
You gotta go right from the start right to the end, buddy. Trust me.
The problem is, I know for a fact I'm literally going to come back, pack up my house, sell it, and then move out there. I know I'm going to fall in love with it anytime.
That's so funny. There's a lot of people who say that. That's a like very common response actually when I say that. It's like people
I know
like,
it.
I just know once I go, I leave and I go there.
I know the type of person I am. I know what I like, and I know I would love it out there. So I mean, I love Vancouver. I love Victoria. I like I've done some driving on the island a little bit, but man, every time I go out that way, it's definitely one of the nicest places in Canada for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. You start going in a little bit where the population's a little less.
Yeah.
It's just absolutely beautiful. There's endless amount of hiking. If you're into like hiking and all that stuff, biking or anything like that, kayaking, that's your area, right? It's just endless.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Yeah, it just sounds too good. And also, Sasquatch searching too, right? I gotta imagine that's probably pretty good there.
You might do all right.
I might do okay. All right, so I know you've been out of circulation for a little bit. You're getting back into it. What's your sentiment right now with the crypto market?
Well, I gotta say, like right now, obviously, I came back. Day I came back, things started to move there.
They sure did.
That was nice. So yeah, I was watching that for quite a while, but realistically, I think we're still far from out of the woods. I know people don't want to hear that. I'm cautiously optimistic, though. I'll go as far as to say I'm cautiously optimistic, and I guess one of the things like I will bring up is we've never had 1 month in October since 2014. We've never had an October that's been positive for altcoins versus BTC.
Really?
So knowing that, and oddly enough, actually, last October 2018 was one of our better Octobers that we've ever had. So that's kind of sad in a sense. So, as much as I like to see these moves, I wouldn't be completely surprised with a nice little drop before we start to go off. But always going into November and December, I'm very optimistic. I like to get just over that October hump. So
Right.
I didn't come back and just plug all in, I didn't just buy everything that I felt was on the bottom, but I was taking a little peek. I've been doing a little bit of research and getting back into things, and I like to grade my coins when I buy them. So
Yep.
I got kind of a way I work it out, and I kind of graded them out of 5. And then I like to come back and revisit them later. So, there's a lot of coins that when I left in like May were probably a 2 out of 5 that I would say are more around a 3 out of 5 now.
Okay.
They're kind of leaning more in a positive direction for how I look at things. But I am well aware of October and how October generally goes. So cautiously optimistic.
All right, I like that. Now, we were talking the other day about strategies specifically with altcoins, and there's kind of 2 schools of thought. First one is, do you buy coins or tokens that have had their cycle already and are, in one's opinion, bottomed out. Your Moneros, your Stellar, that kind of stuff, kind of, high cap, but, just absolutely wrecked? Or is the strategy looking at new coins that haven't had a cycle yet and then, getting positions in those? Or maybe a combination of the two?
Yeah, well, I would say I'm slightly biased in a sense towards old cat or old coins because I've kind of watched them since
Yeah,
the
exactly.
birth
You're
of the
great.
coin, right?
Exactly.
So new coins to me maybe don't interest me quite as much. That was kind of like what happened with the last ICO cycle. I did invest in a few ICOs, but I probably turned down a couple hundred for every one that I would get into, right? So
Right.
it was very, very, very selective, and they didn't do well either. Like I'm not sitting here like I picked the right ones. I fucking didn't. There was no right ones.
I don't think many people did.
No, so that cycle was terrible. I think picking bottoms, that's not really for me either. What I like to do though is if I do think that a coin is relatively close to the bottom, I like to start averaging in. So
Hmm.
so if I can do I like to do a 1% investment per coin when I invest. So if the price drops 15%, I like to get another zero point 0.2 of a percent of my portfolio
Gotcha.
involved in it.
Yep.
So over the course of down 75% or so, that's when I'll get a full position. So if you look at right now when things are down about 80-90% and you kind of start averaging in every 15%, um, it kind of gives you a better odds, right? And I'm not saying that that's the perfect strategy or anything like that. It's just something that's worked for me for a long time now. So I'm kind of just sticking towards that. I'm kind of starting to look at things and say a coin right now is at 100 satoshis and I really like it, I might take a plug at 100, and then now I'm waiting for about 85 satoshis, something like that, right, to
Sure.
get another one. Worst case scenario, it takes off and your first bid is automatically in the positive, and that's
Hmm.
not really a bad thing. And then
Nope,
if
not at
not,
all.
I dollar cost down. So just got to average in, I guess. And it's too hard to pick bottoms and tops in crypto. Going back to like when we started to run a couple of years ago, I think that was around the time when I was on this podcast last time. I was very cautious about the 10,000 USD mark.
Hmm.
That's when I started to take some profit and kind of just continued to sell the entire way up. So I didn't just go balls to the wall. I'm selling out
Right.
of everything, right? I was just slowly every time. Okay, it went up again every day. I was kind of just okay. I'll take a little bit more, take a little bit more. So yeah, I think it's just all about maybe not so much perfect timing, but knowing the projects that you're getting into and kind of knowing where they were and where they are now. There's a lot of them I tell you that were couple hundred satoshis, 500-600 satoshis that are 20 satoshis now, right?
Hmm.
So your multiples there are crazy. I always laugh at people who, and I don't think day trading's a bad thing. It's just not for me. But I always laugh when I see people. Coin went from 20 satoshis to 25, and they're taking profit when they've seen it at
At 500 or
500 or 600
right,
satoshis,
exactly.
right? It's always like there's a lot of room for growth. So I'm averaging in. Let's just say I will be averaging in over the next little bit.
Now you've said yourself, you've seen a couple of market cycles now. Are there some, off the top of my head? I'm just trying to think of some. What are some of the alts that you've seen, go through a cycle, get absolutely wrecked, kind of bottom out, and then have another big market cycle up? Can you think of any off the top of your head?
Oh, yeah, sorry, I was on mute there.
Oh, sorry. Oh
No,
my God. I
uh,
stumped him.
no. So yeah, no, there's been lots of coins that have kind of had cycles. Digibyte, I remember when it went to
Right.
50 satoshis, 60 satoshis, everybody was really, really involved in that. And at that point, I got in, around 16, 18 satoshi mark.
Hmm.
So I was obviously happy when everybody was liking it at 50. But then it went back down to geez, I don't even know, back down to around 20 Satoshi, something like that. And there was a lot of defeated people. So then, when it got back around that 50 Satoshi mark, there was a lot of people who were selling off, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it wasn't long after that everything went completely crazy, and I forget exactly what I hit. It was like 2,500 satoshis that went up to, or something crazy like that, right?
Yes, it
So,
did. I remember.
but there's a lot of coins I could mention. There's been coins that I've put on I have a USB drive of what I call my graveyard,
Yeah.
and it's just all the coins that just never survived. And I've actually pulled that out a few times, like hasn't been recently, but you'll notice in a bull market you'll actually go back to some of those coins and people will be reviving them and whatnot. So I've had some pretty big gains on revived coins that I completely thought were shot. So
Interesting.
and I'm always optimistic that one day I'll be able to put a little bit more and take, slowly clean that drive out and put one or two on. But she got a little larger this year after Cryptopia went off. So
Holy smokes, did it ever, eh? Well, that's a
yeah,
good point you bring up. Now, obviously, I think we're maybe a few days away from the U.S. having to switch to Binance US.
yeah.
I think we're a couple of days away. Are there particular sites that you're using right now? Like we were talking the other day about, like, KuCoin and Trade Ogre. Cryptopia is now gone, or it doesn't look like it's coming back. Are there sites that you think are kind of good ones to pick up those gems on? Are there sites that are coming down the pipe that you think might be okay?
Well, this is how I look at it. I don't like to marry exchanges. They don't make me money, altcoins do.
That's
So,
right.
usually I was actually just having a conversation with someone recently about this, but usually I do my business and I get out of there, right? So
Right.
I'm not leaving nothing for chance. The only thing I left on Cryptopia that I lost on Topia was my dot coin, and the only reason I left dot coin there was because that's their coin. So if they shut off,
Right. Doesn't
it
matter if you
it
have
was
it or not.
over anyways, right? So
Exactly.
um, I don't like to really marry exchanges. I do still use the traditional. I'm still with Bittrex. They've never been hacked, right? So
Yep.
that's obviously like makes you feel good about it. And every once in a while, I'll go log into Binance. I've kind of left Polo behind. I haven't really went there, but
I think a
that's
lot of
not
people
saying
have.
But that's not saying I wouldn't. Like if
Hmm.
something was there and it was easy enough for me to get in and get out and not have to worry about any headaches. I've had a lot of headaches on like HitBTC and crap like that, right? Just
I
garbage
actually, that's
exchanges.
probably
So
one of the worst experience I've had was on HitBTC. And it's not necessarily like the company itself, but just the user interface. I didn't like as much as some of the other exchanges.
they're extra digit.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was very weird. So I think I made a little bit of money on there though. Sometimes I have good feelings about shitty exchanges because I was able to turn a profit. I still think my biggest gains were on Cryptopia. I'm almost positive of that.
Yeah, I had a good time on Topia while they were alive.
Right?
Yeah, it was good times, but hey, good
No,
times got to come
so
to an end. I've been
well
around
we
for too many exchanges that have shut down, right? So
well
I've been
that's
around.
exactly
I was
right.
around for Mount Gox, Coin Rush, or Crypto Rush or whatever. I don't know. The list is on and on. I've tweeted about it. CoinEX. I've tweeted about it 100 times of all the exchanges I've been around that have shut down. So Cryptsy, all of them. So it's endless really. So it's hard for me to like even give time towards exchanges in that sense. I don't like to like get too involved with what they're doing, right? They're just running a
Hmm.
business. I'm not a
Exactly.
spokesman for them, right? And I don't
Yep.
know how they're handling their funds and if someone's siphoning money out the back like Quadriga, right? I don't
Yeah.
there's so many different things, and so it's just hard to actually commit myself towards any exchanges. I don't even like to promote any of them, to be honest. What I
No,
do
that's
like to
fair.
promote is studying a coin, going and looking at the coin, and then seeing where it trades and finding the best option for you. That's what I think is the best thing to do.
So what would you like? What resources do you use when you're researching your coins? Are there sites that you like to use? I know in the past everybody would use CoinMarketCap, which is whatever. But like sites like Coin, I'm not sure, I think like Coin Paprika, I think is one that I've seen people talk about a little bit. Are there sites that you would recommend for people doing some research?
I think like a lot now, there's a lot more on Twitter now. If you actually look at the exchanges, they give out Medium articles and stuff like that.
Yes, they do.
Um, but if you go, I like BitScreener for updated on prices and where they've been daily, monthly, blah blah blah. So I like that. I like obviously Bitcoin Talk still. I'm not much for joining people's Discord and Telegrams. I don't like to be that style of a community member, But lingering in there all day, like when update, when moon. I don't want to sit there and do that all the time. So I don't hang out in too many Discords and Telegrams. I actually am not in any, to be completely honest. Um, so yeah, just mainly doing my own research from what I'm given off the bat, right? And I like to go through and just check out coin supplies and stuff like that, and just kind of what they got to do. The beauty thing about crypto, and this is what people don't understand, a lot of people anyways, is there's there's endless amounts of people you can talk to in this space, and people are willing to have a conversation with you for the most part, right?
Absolutely.
In traditional markets, you see a couple of guys with 50 followers commenting on something. They're not going to comment back, right? They don't have nothing to say to you, and crypto's always been nice like that. That's actually one of the main reasons I joined crypto, was everybody was kind of helping everybody out, right? So if you really have a question, and a coin is just bugging you and you think you found the ultimate gem, go try and talk to the developers, right? There's a good chance they want you to buy their token, so they're going to give you the time of day, right? So that's kind of what I would say, is just go approach them and see what they have to say. Check their Twitter, check their Medium pages or whatever, Bitcoin Talk, all those different sites that they use. Even they drop their updates on things like Blockfolio, right? You can get some updates from there. So
Hmm.
you just kind of put everything together and kind of wiggle around the nonsense and see what you get.
That's a good point. You're 100% correct. As far as like projects looking to communicate with, basically anybody that's looking for information, we see that time and time again. And if it's not a dev, it's they might have like a community leader or somebody with a good amount of knowledge that can get you pretty good information too. So
Absolutely.
yeah, I'm a big fan of reaching out to those projects because they are pretty receptive. So we should play a game here. We talked about crypto. We've talked about your summer. Let's have a little bit of fun now. Let's play Defend That Tweet.
The defense is not back, Mo.
Hey, let's get our energy going at the defensive end. Playing defense.
Dun
No.
dun dun.
Exactly. You know it. Shit's about to get real.
This is where I gotta go. That wasn't me, guys. I swear. So someone took over the Needacoin handle.
So this one I like. We don't usually get too much like controversial messaging or we don't pick up the controversial ones too often. But this one's, I guess, a little bit controversial, and at least it'll give us some fun stuff to talk about. This was from September 10th, so a little over a week ago, and it was a retweet. You had retweeted something with comment. The original tweet was from CNN, and it goes to say, unlike the classic game, and this I guess is for Miss Monopoly. Or Mrs. Monopoly. I'm not sure which one it
Oh
was.
yes. Here we go.
But it says, unlike the classic game, women will collect 240 Monopoly bucks when they pass go, while male players will collect the usual 200. It's a fun new take on the game that creates a world where women have an advantage, often enjoyed by men. So this was about Mrs. Or Miss Monopoly, and yours was your retweet comment was, "This is the dumbest shit you'll read today," and I don't disagree. I feel that day that CNN, and I mean, I'm not a big political guy. I know a lot of people hate CNN, and I know a lot of people hate like Fox News, and they're usually opposites. I'm not a huge CNN fan myself. I like, as I like good news as a rule, like good journalism. But I found that particular day, CNN was on a roll with like the politically correct stuff. Were you getting that same feeling?
You know what? I don't really actually follow any of those sites. I think it came up as a retweet.
It did, yeah, because it was the same thing for me. I don't follow CNN either. Now I just kept seeing CNN tweets popping up in my Yeah.
All I was thinking about was my 5-year-old nephew and how he would not enjoy playing this game.
100%.
But I'm all for like equal rights and equality.
Yeah, equal is not 240 versus 200. Equal is 200 to 200.
That is just silly, like it's a traditional game. It's just supposed to be fun, right? That's all it is.
And to be honest, it wasn't like women were getting $40 less in the regular Monopoly. You know what I mean?
No, like, yeah, my girlfriend, she kicks my ass all the time,
right.
So that she didn't need no edge. She always whoops my ass. So.
And I mentioned this one in particular because I wanted to bring up, because I think that same day CNN had tweeted out, I don't know if it was CNN, I think it was CNN, but there was like this video of this girl, and it was like maybe like a 2-minute video, and she was basically explaining why the term guys as like kind of like a general,
I think I saw that too, yeah.
You're right. It was like the same day, and I was like, holy smokes, this is getting crazy. But that one in particular, I have 2 girls. Like I have a 6-year-old and I got a 1.5-year-old, and I have my wife, and that's the whole house. And I've noticed, I'll refer to them. I'll be like, "Hey guys, let's go get in the car. Hey guys, let's do this." And I say that, and I've actually, in my head, have made that. I've said like, "Why do I keep calling them guys? I'm the only guy. I'm talking to 0 guys right now," and I'm like, I just don't know what other word to use. So there was this video where
folk.
Folk is, folks? I agree. Okay, let's go, folks. And that's all encompassing. I like this.
Yeah.
But yeah, I couldn't find guys is so natural for me.
It just rolls off the tongue.
It does. And I'm like, shit, I got to find a new word because none of the people that I'm referring to are guys. And I should probably find a different word. But maybe I'll use folks. I like that. I like folks. Okay. Next tweet. I got another one here for you. We have... Now, okay, this one was taken from September 8th, and it's it's a GIF of a very enthusiastic person getting off the couch, and your tweet is, "This is me waking up knowing football starts in 4 hours."
Yes.
Now, I'm assuming this is NFL, and we're not watching CFL football.
The Children's Football League? No, I don't
watch
that.
No.
Yeah,
that's fantastic. I've never heard that, and I will.
I'm sorry, all my
it.
fellow Canadians, but
no,
we just don't have the right game going on here.
We don't. So I'm assuming you're a big football fan.
I'm a huge sports fan. Yeah, just in general, I love sports. I love
now,
football.
Are you betting on these? Are you also betting on these games? Is that why? I know a lot of people get excited.
I got like my Survivor pool, so you pick one team each week.
Yep.
And then on top of that, I got like fantasy drafts and stuff like that, right? But the first week, I think I threw out, what was it? Maybe it was last week, actually. I picked Carolina over Tampa Bay, and of course that didn't pan out because Cam's absolutely useless this year. He's just been absolutely crushing me in fantasy. But
really?
Yeah, so... But besides that, no, I haven't really tossed out too much. And I used to more back in the day, but, you just get so busy with life and stuff, and it's hard to sit down and commit to doing the proper research and stuff. And I'm not someone who likes to go into things blind, right? I don't play slots. If you know, like I play cards.
Yeah.
Play cards before I play slots. You feel like you have a little bit of an edge, and you're not just like totally on guessing. So I'm not about just like throwing my money at someone without actually just taking the time to research it, right? But every once in a while, I'll dabble. I'm not opposed to throwing like $20 here, $20 there, right? So
get a little pro line action happening.
The house is not for sale though.
That's good.
Yeah, we won't be putting that up.
That's funny. All right, so I got another one here for you. I'm assuming this is when you were away. It says things, and this is from August 25th. It says things I miss: my dog, my bed, and alt season.
Amen.
I also miss alt season. What kind of dog do you have?
I got a golden doodle. So
I'm assuming, I'm not a big dog guy. I'm assuming this is a cross between a golden retriever and a poodle.
It absolutely is, yeah. And
that seems like the mechanics wouldn't work in my head. I'm not trying to think how that would work.
Well, it makes it, they don't really shed, right? So that's
perfect.
Yeah, that was quite a big thing for me. So, but I love dogs, man. I really do. I treat dogs better than I probably treat humans. Yeah, just the type of person that I am.
That's good. I'm very glad Bunshu's not here right now because he'd be roasting me. He's a big dog guy, and I'm not anti-dog. I'm just anti-pets in the house. More so for you actually brought it up, like the fact that they shed all the time and there's hair. So I guess I would be more inclined if you could convince me that there's absolutely no shedding coming from an animal. I won't
go that far to say that there's zero, but it's really not that bad with the golden doodle. So
that's good. All right, I don't mind that. I did like one dog. One of my best friends had a Bernese Mountain Dog. Oh
yeah, nice. My neighbor has 2 of those.
That was a very nice dog as well, like a very well behaved. I don't remember it shedding very much. It was it's a long haired dog, but I don't remember it shedding too much. And it was massive. This thing was like 175 pounds, I think. It was
big.
Yeah, so I did like that one.
My dog's right around 100 pounds.
That's a big dog.
In between there, yeah. But he keeps me, active every day. He needs a walk. So first thing in the morning, get up. We go for a big hike. We go up and down just different paths and coulees and stuff like that. So, just keep busy that way. I'm always active with my dog, though. He keeps me going. He alone gets me my 10,000 steps a day.
That's good. That's what you want. Now, I should ask, you said you missed your bed. Do you know what kind of mattress you have?
Oh, I don't, but it is so comfy. It's one
I
of
was
those
gonna
memory ones.
I got a Tempur-Pedic a couple of years back, and man, that is a game changer. I hate sleeping anywhere else now. I do a lot of traveling, and I'm always staying in hotels, and they're good hotels, but it's not like being at home,
Yeah, I was sleeping in my trailer bed, and then you get all these random Airbnbs and everything, and you sleep in their beds, whatever the heck they have, right? So it's like every once in a while you squeeze in a good sleep. But even the last place we were at, we were kind of at the top, overlooking the the kitchen and the living room area. So it's kind of an open area, open concept. And I was like, oh yeah, we want the upstairs room. That room looks the nicest. And I want that one. And then we get up there at night. We're like, it is so hot up here. You can't sleep. So it's like dunking my head under the shower to keep cool and stuff. So, but and the bed just sucked. It's just hard. Woke up in the morning, just rolled myself over the couch a few times to kind of get a couple of the creaks out.
No kidding. Jeez, that sounds. Yeah, I would miss my bed too. Yeah, that's tough. That's tough stuff. All right, we'll finish it up with a quick segment here to wrap it up. We want to get to know you a little bit more. We're gonna play a little game called Rapid Fire. And rapid fire is just non-crypto questions that I'm going to ask you, and you just answer to your best ability. I'm going to start with, what's your favorite movie of all time?
Ooh, favorite movie of all time. That is a tough one. Yikes. I don't even know.
You can give me a couple if you have you kind of have a top 3 or 5 or something that you use as go-tos.
That's just so tough. There's so many. I'm gonna sound like an old guy naming my favorite shows and stuff. But,
Gone with the Wind.
No, nothing like that. But I don't know. I'd say Seven is a pretty good movie.
Seven is a very good movie.
So
I'm a big fan.
I'd probably say Seven is up there. Yeah,
that's good. All right. What is okay?
That wasn't
What
very
is-
rapid, eh?
No, that's okay. They're never rapid, especially when I'm asking the questions. We should call it slow fire, slow burn.
Right on.
When you were a kid, what would you say was the most embarrassing music you were listening to? Like, for example, I had a New Kids on the Block T-shirt when I was a young child, and I was a big fan of them. Anything like that?
Yeah, kind of, man. Embarrassing times, but
This is a safe space. We're just admitting our
yeah,
embarrassments.
I was actually probably like shouldn't have even went this way anyways, but like Backstreet Boys and all that,
Of course.
you know, and they came up and I really didn't even like it. It was like more like they were cool, so like
Yep.
you pretended to like it. Like really, I had like my Kid Rock CDs and I had like my Eminem CD and
Right.
and-
Like,
and
I know for me, like Backstreet Boys, I think I was probably like 13, maybe, like 12, 13. And you're getting into, for me at least, you're getting into a phase where, the girls really like them. And then you could kind of like model your like attire based on like, okay, well, if the girls like the way these guys are dressed, like I would base what I would wear on what I would see in the videos.
yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
I used to have
gotta-
like that rock and mushroom cut, like
Sick.
Nick had. So it was
like Nick, absolutely.
the
I
girls
was-
would be like, "You look like Nick Carter," and I'd be like, "Yeah, I do." And then I'd wear that a little bit, but
I was more of a Brian. All right, so Backstreet Boys. Now, I'd mentioned I had a New Kids on the Block T-shirt, and I was telling my wife about this, and I said, "Do you know what the really funny thing is? Is you would think that would be something you would like your parents would like put away, like after you've grown out of it." And I've never seen it since. I know I had one. And I think my dad literally like threw it out one day.
yeah,
Like,
he torched that. That became a part of
100%,
the
right?
campfire.
I was like, whatever happened to that T-shirt? I was rocking some New Kids attire. I think I was probably like 6 or 7 at the very most.
It was probably like a week of you not having that shirt. He's like, "See, he doesn't even like it." Woof, gone.
exactly. All right, last question here. We'll go with what out of all your entire youth and adulthood, what was your favorite Halloween costume?
I've had a lot of actually good Halloween. I'm actually really into it.
Nice.
We set up our house and everything, and I just love it. I got a whole bunch of decorations, things that jump at you. The whole nines. The last year we actually had a Halloween party in our house. All of our friends came over and stuff, and we decorated the entire house. The entire house was
fantastic.
like well done up. So huge Halloween enthusiast here. But I've had some good ones back in the day, but maybe I'll just tell you my funniest. So one time I just went as a hobo, and so I wanted more facial hair, so I just like put a whole bunch of coffee grounds like on my face,
Yeah.
and I woke up the next day and my face was rashed right out.
Really?
I was just completely rashed everywhere that the coffee grounds sat on my face for like 10 hours. Just broke me. It was really bad, really bad. But I've had some really good creepy clown costumes. And last year, do you remember the TV show Recess?
Oh yeah, of course. Yeah.
Yeah, we
absolutely.
went as like a huge Recess theme last year. And
That's awesome.
we've done Price or Right contestants, and oh man, I've done a whole bunch. You know what we were talking about doing for this year? Body
What are you
break.
thinking?
Body break.
It's so funny. I just watched
Body break.
a Hal Johnson and Joanne McLeod commercial on YouTube the other day. They're coming back. If you're on YouTube and you live in Canada, keep an eye out for the new Body Break commercials.
How
because
old
they're
do we sound right now?
so
talking
good. I love
about
how we're like kind of the same age. I like this. This is we have very similar embarrassing memories.
That's great, man.
But yeah, Hal Johnson, Joanne McLeod, big fans.
Shout out Hal.
Yeah, shout out Hal and Joanne. My wife told me they're married in real life. I actually didn't know that. I'm like, that's amazing.
Do you want to know something funny? We were actually sitting down a while back, and we were watching the first ever Amazing Race Canada. Mm-hmm. And we didn't realize it was the first ever Amazing Race Canada. We thought it was like the new one that came out, and
Right.
about halfway, we're like, why do they keep saying the first ever? We didn't realize. And then, but Hell and Joanne were actually on the first ever season.
Really?
So because of that, we were like, we have to be them for Halloween. Like,
That's amazing.
This is just the perfect, combo. So get out the tracksuits, the headbands.
Oh yeah.
Fake, throwing that insane elaborate mustache.
So good.
And
for those of you guys who don't know who Hal Johnson is, just think of, he kind of has a resemblance to what's his name, Ramathorn on what's that freaking movie called? Super Troopers. The guy that likes a mustache ride. He kind of has that look to him. So yeah, imagine him and his wife in workout commercials in the 90s. It was terrific. It was amazing.
Great
All right,
time.
man. That does it for my questions. Take your time. Are you working on anything? Where can people find you? I know they're probably already following you, but is there anything you're working on that you want to talk about?
There is a little something in the works right now. I guess if you follow me on Twitter, you'll probably see this in the next couple months. But there's a bunch of us working on something. It's kind of exciting.
Really?
So you may see something in the future. I think you already know what I'm talking about. But
I do know what you're talking about.
We'll leave a surprise for the viewers. But there are good things happening, And when it comes to altcoins, I know a lot of people are down and out and stuff right now, and as you should be. Like, it's been terrible, but just a little bit of comfort here. In 2014, I remember when Bitcoin retraced 87% there, and I put a tweet up about it a while ago, but I was crushed. I just quit my job. Things were just absolutely terrible, and I was thinking every day, did I make the wrong choice, right? But instead of kind of just moping around about it or whatever, I kind of started to learn new skills and improve on ones that I obviously ran into problems on that I thought I was good at that I clearly was not good at, like risk management and diversification's obviously a big one. So just overall, it's just kind of keep your head up. We've been here. I know a lot of people feel like they're in this alone, but trust me, there are a lot of people out here who have been here already, and then there's a lot of people who are experiencing it now. So never feel like you're all alone. Just remember, this is crypto. We're all in it together. No need to just go crazy on each other on Twitter, guys. Pick up new skills.
You got it, man. That is some great advice from Needacoin. All right, man. That does it for us. For myself, Chamber, for Needacoin. Until next time, don't get wrecked, and that is financial advice.